What's up, folks? Welcome back to Don't Be Kurt. And today we're going to do a mini update. Yeah, I got dad jokes. But it really is a small update on the R53 Mini behind me, which we've been working on for the better part of 2.5 years. And quite frankly, I think I've done a bunch of work, but there's not much to show for. So let's go in and let's talk about what I've done so far. As many of you who have watched, or maybe this is your first time watching, this is my $700 2003 Mini Cooper S that I bought, and when I bought it, it was running and driving, meaning that it was able to get from where I bought it from to my house. It could stop, it could start, it could do all that type of stuff, but it was filled with problems. And these problems were interesting. Headlights that low beams did not work, no matter what I did. A horn that wouldn't sound, a trunk that wouldn't pop open, and then on the inside, we had many problems, like a glove box that didn't latch and wouldn't close, no kick panels here, and also from a mechanical perspective, it couldn't rev past 5,000 without shutting off. Also, mechanically, while I had it and sitting there trying to devise a plan, things went worse. We lost brakes, we lost, of course, the battery went bad, and then whatever electrical corrosion, that was going on just got worse and worse. And this is not my full-time job. I'm an IT guy by day, photographer by night, and car stuff is a hobby, and I just figured I'd start recording this stuff because I find working, people who share videos on the regular stuff are quite interesting, and I was hoping that maybe I would pique the interest of others who, to show them, hey, these Euro cars or these cars that might seem to be irredeemable, they got some life yet left in them, and you can do it. And clearly from this view, you can see I haven't gotten everything. Still don't have a headliner. That was also missing when I bought the car originally. It's on the list, but we're going to talk about what's gotten done so far. So let's dig in. One of the most annoying parts of this car was the fact that the trunk did not work. And it took a little bit, but inside this trunk mechanism here is the same micro switch that exists in many other BMW products. And as a 2003 Mini, it's pretty much a BMW, well, not really the BMW, but BMW owns Mini at this point. The parts are common, so finding a parts car that had that micro switch was what solved this. So now we can open the trunk. The shocks are still good, it opens up, and replacing that has made it a lot easier, because before, to get to the battery on this car, you had to flip these seats down, pull this carpet up, and get to the battery underneath here, which is underneath all this. So that was a great relief to get that part done. But wait, there's more. Going back to the front, the other part was the issue was if I wanted to drive this thing at nighttime, I have my brights on, and I could not figure out what was going on with the headlights on this car. So originally this car had some aftermarket lights on there, and so doing a little bit of Facebook Marketplace digging, I was able to find somebody parting out a Mini, and I wish I had more time to get more parts from them, but at least was able to get these headlights, and now we have working xenon high discharge headlamps that work just fine. All right, so going inside the car, there were some issues mechanically, well, I shouldn't say mechanically, safety issues. So in the state of Missouri, and I'm pretty sure other states, you need to have a working horn. Horn also was something that didn't work, but we got that solved with some brand new horns installed by my friends at Bimmers R Us, who also service Minis, by the way. So now we got horns. So this gets us past safety and makes the car at least drivable on the road. Working lights, a tailgate that opens, and a proper battery that got changed as well too. So what were the other issues? I don't have a lift, but I could show the brake lines. So the brake lines got rusted out, so those were replaced, or at least spliced in from the good metal to the bad metal, and so we replaced all that. Car can now properly stop. Enhancements that were done, I didn't mention this earlier, was the suspension also failed while we were doing that, so that was kind of a detour where we went along and installed some coilovers. Got the coilovers installed, I'm sure there's opinions each way whether or not these are good or bad to use coilovers on a Mini. It's pretty stiff. It was already stiff, but hey, this car is kind of for fun. So we got coilovers installed. We got the brakes replaced. And then, thanks to Sam Crack, I learned about Priority Tires and got a set of Land Spider City Spiders for 50 bucks a corner. So the tires were replaced. So we got new tires. We got working brakes. Well, then next thing that happened was we started having some mad electrical failure. So I mentioned before the car would cut off at 5,000 RPMs. So this took a little while to figure out what was going on there. And as we showed, we're just in the on position. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the car, show that we're in good shape. So right now, we got no check engine light, airbag light, which we'll talk about why that's on for a second. Seatbelt, I'm not wearing it and we're not going anywhere. And of course the parking brake's on. What we couldn't do before about the car shutting off was this. It would just shut off because of some sort of short. So it took a little while to track that down. So what was causing the short? And why did it take a little while to track down? So one of the things with a Mini, and lots of cars with sunroofs, is that they have a drain hole which exists right here. So this drain hole right here, when it doesn't work, causes water to go all the way down here, follows me down here, and there is a electrical junction box here which goes to everything, which sends power up here, or at least power comes back from the main block here to all sorts of spots. And that was corroded. So cleaned it up, cleaned up the corrosion, chopped up some aftermarket wiring that was in here. So this car has some sort of Bluetooth kit, cut that off, and that seemed to have kind of solved it. Kind of. So when I say kind of, was once we got that solved, we still had a weird issue. And this goes back to the airbag light. So one of the issues that Minis have are there's some sort of auxiliary power or something on the power plug that interfaces with the airbag system on the car. And that is wrong. And of course, I'm a little close. But as you can see here, I have some wires disconnected, and that's because this wire is somewhat still corroded. I have a replacement that, to change it, and this is where I'm going to get to in this video, requires some other surgery that I'm not quite sure if I want to do yet. But for now, we got all the shorts from the front fixed. I'm dealing with the bad airbag light being on because of this, but there is a catch to why I can't go any further, and let's get into that. So to replace that power cable, which goes from the back of the trunk to the battery, underneath the car to the front, requires dropping the exhaust. Not a big deal. It really normally wouldn't be. However, given that my brake lines are rusty, you can only imagine what shape the exhaust is in. And I have a feeling that once I take this exhaust down, it's not going back up. And I haven't determined yet if I like this car enough to invest in a new exhaust. The other stuff I have left to do is all touchy-feely type stuff, you know, the headliner and rear tail lights and stuff like that. But new exhaust is going to be a significant investment in a $700 car, especially one that I wasn't necessarily planning on keeping. I mean, yes, there are many other channels that will fix these cars and take a loss on them, but I'm not there yet. I don't make any money off this. It's not like this helps me with taxes or anything, but it's a thought. Other things I need to do still. The supercharger needs maintenance on there, so I've heard of oil change kits for there. Water pump is still leaking coolant, and I do have a supercharger pulley to put it on the car. I went ahead and bought that thinking that wasn't a big deal, but now I'm seeing to get in there, there's a lot of wall-render type stuff to happen. So we went through a few things. One thing I forgot to mention too is the air conditioner didn't work. That also requires some hose replacements on the condenser. Not a serious job in terms of intensity or parts cost, but still yet another thing in the checkbox of things that make this $700 car a little bit comfortable to drive. So getting back to what needs to be done here. So of course, the supercharger pulley is underneath all this right here. To get to some of these things I need to do, it requires a lot of disassembly, and I'm not afraid of that. It's just a matter of once you're in there type stuff, should I keep going on this project? And that's kind of what I'm leaving to you guys in the comment section. You know, got the car for $700. Nice condition Minis are about $2,500. I don't dream of this car being able to capture that unless I do a lot more work. Or I keep this car, do all the work, and just have fun with it until whatever happens. But how much more should I spend on this? Should I do the exhaust work? Should I go ahead and do the supercharger pulley? I don't know, and I would love to get some opinions on this to see what other people, what everybody else thinks. And I ask these questions only because I have another project that I'm starting. I haven't introduced it to you guys yet, and it's one that also, similar to the Mini, has a catch. Now, It's, I think, in overall better shape, but the catch on it is pretty big in terms of what needs to be fixed on it first before doing any fun stuff. So think about this in the vacuum. You know, I like the Mini, I enjoy driving it, and I enjoy it in its current bodily shape, meaning it's not perfect. I can drive around the city, I can park it, squeeze it into places. It's fun to drive spiritedly, and ultimately, I did want to do autocross and stuff with this car and just have fun with it. So give me some opinions. Let me know what you guys think. And if you guys like this stuff, please like, subscribe. Sorry I've been gone for a little while, but I got a bunch of stuff I recorded, and I got to get the stuff out to you guys so you guys can see what I've been up to. Catch you all later, sooner than later. Peace.